I want to talk about an idea that a psychic introduced me to, and that is on the duty that you have on breaking the curses that you've inherited from your family and how to do so. Now, when I say curses, we might as well be discussing semantics because you can replace this with whatever you want. You can call it genetics, you can call it like spirits, you could even call it your environment or behavioral inputs, whatever it is. I think all of it represents the exact same thing. So I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of like religions, right? You have all of these religions, but most likely, probably, they're talking about the exact same thing. It's just like different lenses in which you analyze and perceive these things. So regardless of what it is, we have inherited a lot of things from our family. And what we have to do is to discern the good ones from the bad ones. But the thing is that for most of us, the bad ones are only a handful of them, most likely from 1 to 5 bad things that we've inherited. And these 1 to 5 things, I would argue they're the root cause of like 95% of the bad things that happen in our life. Like most of the problems that you have, whether long-term, short-term, from the moment you were born to the day you'll die, all of the bad situations that you find yourself in, all of the things that don't end up working out, all of that stuff that you did not want to happen, but it ended up happening. If you start to peel the layers of those things and you find the root cause, it's probably going to come to one of these 1 to 5 bad things, curses that you have inherited from your family. And it's just the same thing happening over and over and over again. Now, for sure, the thing is that they're different for different people, right? And you'll have to do the individual task of finding what are the ones you have. And I think what I can do for you is to give you examples of mine so that you can understand where I'm coming from. And once you understand mine, maybe you'll be able to spot the ones that you have within your family and that you're carrying with you. So the way I've spotted these are by looking at my parents and also other family members. And it is especially a big clue when multiple family members suffer from the same thing. So one that I've spotted a lot that you could think is a minor thing, but it's actually a pretty big deal, is putting things off. This is something that I spotted in multiple members of my family. And for example, like just a few months ago, my dad had to move to a new place, a new house. And the thing is that we had to move a lot of things in and take some things out, right? And I knew that it's something that he was gonna keep putting off, and months would go by, maybe even years are going to go by. And literally on the first day, I told him like, I can help you if you want to. And in one single morning, we can do this whole thing and we can forget about it. And he's like, no. I'm gonna do it myself. It's okay. And I told him like, I'm worried that this thing is gonna happen. That you say you're going to do it. Yeah, this first week or two, I'm gonna get this thing done. And then it's gonna be like 3 weeks and 1 month and 2 months and 3 months. And eventually it's not ever gonna get done. And he told me like, no, it's okay, whatever. For sure, you know what happened. It's still not done, right? And then same thing happened, like he had to buy this thing. And then same thing happened again like a month ago. There was something that he had to buy. Okay, I couldn't buy, but he had to buy this thing. He had to go and do this thing. And it was something that was fairly easy, that you could do it like again in one morning. But same thing happened. He put it off and it's like, yeah, I'm looking into it. I'm doing this, I'm researching this, that. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Right? And this is something that I've seen not only on my dad, but on other people in my family. So it is a pattern that's running through my family. The fact of putting things off and not just taking action in the moment, solving the issue right there, and then just forgetting about it and moving on to the next thing. Then there's another one, which I think is worse, which is like negativity and having a victim's mindset. And this basically refers to the fact that very often my dad might think that a lot of bad things happen because of other people, or on things that happen, he immediately has a very negative outlook on them, right? So you have this piece of information that's completely neutral, something that just happened, and you could choose to look at it in a positive way or a negative way. And very, very often, like 95% of the times, he goes into the negative outlook of it. And that could be in any area, right? Things that happen to other people, just observations of a reality, or things that happen to him, right? And that's why I say victim mentality. Then also, you have this thing that I would call trapped in system beliefs. What I mean by this is just being trapped into the model of analyzing life through the system that we're currently living in, which in a way, it goes hand in hand with the one that I was previously talking. So a lot of times it would be like, if only the government changed this, if only the system or taxes or these politicians or whatever, instead of just taking responsibility yourself. Like, even if you analyze it, like all of these three, they might actually be one. Like maybe you could reduce it to one thing, right? Because it's not taking action in the moment, just being negative and relying on other people, right? These just the system. It might all boil down to just self-accountability or some weird belief in authority or whatever it is. I don't know exactly what it might be. But the thing is that these things, they're the ones that, as I was saying before, they repeat over and over and over and over and over again. And I would say like 95% of the things bad that happen, they come from these. You also have another one that the psychic that I told you at the beginning of the video told me about, which is like a money trap, in which, according to the psychic, a lot of people in my family have found themselves in. Supposedly this happened to my grandpa. It also happened to my dad, and I've also seen it in myself, in which we have no money, then we start to work, we put in the work, and then eventually we make it big, and now we have a lot of money. So now that we have a lot of money, we relax, and we do nothing, we just chill, and we burn through the money. Until eventually we get to a point that now we're uncomfortable because we don't have as much money anymore. So what we do now is we go into panic mode and we start to work again. We put in the work, we start to make more money. Now we make a lot of money. Now we have a lot and now we're happy. So we relax again, relax. And then eventually we don't have money again, right? So we have this endless cycle that repeats over and over and over again. And I have already in my life gone through one of these cycles. And what the psychic told me was that in a way I was the one that was supposed to break this cycle and just finally achieve like this equilibrium, like this perpetual state in which, I mean, not necessarily going super high and super low constantly, you know, being more stable overall. So now that you know these examples, what you have to do is to spot the patterns within your own life, and you have to put names on them. Like I'm doing right here, you have to know very explicitly what are they, because once you can identify them, that's when it's easier to notice them, to take action, and to avoid them. And this ties very well to something that I heard from David Senra, if I'm saying his name correctly, the host of Founders Podcast. He said something that really stuck with me, which is the story of the father is embedded in the story of the son. But the thing is that if the father has all of these things, the son is also going to have them. So it is your duty, as I was saying in the beginning of the video, to make sure that this is not part of your story anymore, or your kids. Like you end the chain of curses right there, and you leave room only for a positive story without having these massive burdens. So anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it made sense. I don't know if this whole thing made sense, but anyways, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts, leave me a like, check this video right here. I'm sure you're gonna like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and that's it. Hopefully I will see you on the next video. Take care. Peace.